Tellis and Rhiannon Food. Hello. How you feeling, Taz?
Feeling pretty good.
All right.
Got
Pretty
my
rock
ice,
star.
my ice station shoes on.
They're made of ice.
Yes, made of ice.
How's your con been so far, Ice Nation?
Oh,
Awesome.
awesome, yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome sauce. That's why we're on our
Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce.
You took your
I just
sunglasses.
okay,
Let's
I'm
go
sorry.
on. We had a thing.
Rhiannon, you got your sunglasses off here.
Okay.
Before we open it up to audience Q&As, which will be the majority of the panel, I want to know who took longest in the makeup chair between the three of you to get ready for this show.
I love spending time in the makeup chair.
That's a fact. Zach and I were always there first in the morning because my dreadlocks took a long time. And thank God for you because your scarification took a long time. So it'd be like 4 in the morning and like, you'd be there chatting away.
I don't even shut up at 4 in the morning. I cannot stop talking.
Well, Echo's panda makeup didn't take as long as the scar.
No, it was straight up acrylic white paint. So there you go.
They had the full panda shot in there.
They did. I was so surprised.
We're looking forward to Space Panda. That's the thing.
That's every Friday in space.
We've talked a lot in individual panels about the physicality of your roles. Was there anything you had, a new skill you had to learn, whether it be archery, knives, like what fighting, what new skill did you have to learn for the 100 for your roles?
I know it was my first time working with a sword. Even simple things like just pulling it out and looking like you know what you're doing is difficult.
The best is trying to put it back in though.
Oh.
Yeah, it never works really well.
Yeah.
Zach taught me a good trick though, which is that you just put it there and then you drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, horseback riding. We got to go horseback riding together, which was really fun.
We went on a road tryst through
Yes,
the mountains,
yes, through the mountains.
of Vancouver with actually with Marshall's
Dad, with our stunt coordinator's dad. to chaperone.
And we got to see the Black Stallions.
Oh yeah.
Grandson or something.
Yeah.
They had like
The OG Black Stallion.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good ranch.
You know, there's a lot of fan headcanon about the different relationships between the three of you that you never saw. And so a lot of people might speculate, the Ice Nation was pretty fluid probably, and we're wondering if any of you had relationships that you would think in your history of your character, whether it's Antari and Rowan, or Echo and Rowan, or Antari and Echo, I don't know. Is there any sort of pairing that you could have conceived for your character?
Do you reckon Antari and Echo knew each other?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Did
Yes.
Echo?
I probably had to protect you.
Yeah.
You were very precious. So I was probably
Yeah.
you're like muscle.
Yeah.
I was just I was always around you don't fuck with her.
Yeah.
How do you say, my precious? And drink, how do you say that?
No one. Is there anyone here who actually can speak Trig? Because we think that's no. You can. Oh, awesome. Come up here. Tell us what precious is. How do you say my precious?
I don't know what precious is, but the word for holy is fresh. So it comes for precious.
Fresh.
My precious.
Fresh.
You guys can go ahead and start lining up. We can ask them. We have a hard out at 1:45, so if you line up, you can ask questions. We have some technical stuff set up for the next panel, so we are down to ask questions now. The Ice Nation.
What is happening then? Oh, that's my panel.
No.
No, it's
Bob and
Is
Eliza
there
are
disco?
next.
It's the Bella.
Oh, lovely. So I have a break.
Oh my gosh,
We have lunch in it. Ooh. I don't know. I never scheduled it.
Oh, really. Hello, first question.
Hi. I have 2 questions for you guys. My first question is Zach, and I was wondering, all of you kind of know, what was your character? Do you know what your character's reaction was to Naya being killed, your mother and your queen? I know Echo was pretty pissed about it, enough to want to behead Clark in season 4, but
I think at that point, I think he was just kind of happy that the spear didn't go into him. He was like, oh, well, I mean, mom's dead, that's something, but, at least I'm alive. No, I mean, I think I think obviously he had a strained relationship with his mother anyway, and she didn't understand and all that. I mean, I think, you know, I love my mother, and if it was like my mother, I would have been like screaming and crying and gone crazy, but I think they had I mean, I also feel like she like beat him a lot as a boy, so he was a little like, yeah, she deserved that.
My next question is for Taja. Do you know about the ship that people are talking about, Spy Mechanic and Recco?
What? Clearly no.
Everybody wants Raven and Echo to get together in space.
That's awesome.
That actually is awesome.
Not getting a lot of argument here.
We all know that we agreed to it. Everybody's like Echo, Bellark. We're like Recco.
That's our ship name. That's amazing. My roommate, actually.
No. Yeah, they live together.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I also have 2 questions, and I also want to ask about Naya, because I feel like she was kind of hyped up a bit in season 2, and then in season 3, I feel like we didn't get enough of her because she was killed right away and she was so scary. So, and we know that it's like she would like find like her enemies' weaknesses and head them, and that was probably, I imagine, something that she did herself, unless Echo was the one doing it. So it's like how, my question is, so for your 3 characters, it's like, how on board were they with her beheading, and could that possibly be the reason why Rowan was banished, because he wasn't?
I always assumed that, and I sort of said this in the previous panel, is that I think Antari was just sort of blindly following whatever she said. So I think she was probably on board with her doings.
Yeah, it's the same with Echo. I think Echo spent a large part of her life just wanting to please Naya. Though what's interesting is in season 3, the way that they had written the script was that she was not happy about delivering the news to Mount Weather. That like Echo was, you know, when that moment where she comes up to Queen Naya, that she's actually pissed off that she has to do what she had to do what she had to do. So I think like, you know, in her youth, Echo was just very blindly following orders, but I think like as she became an adult, she started developing a conscience. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a astute, you know, observation that perhaps, you know, maybe that was, I don't think maybe the only reason, but I think probably within the package of things that kind of, you know, separated him.
Okay, thank you. And my second question is, if, and Skaden's like, all 3 of you were like within, it's like a family on Game of Thrones, what would that be like?
I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I don't know.
That's very
What would it be like?
Because it's like, would they be like wildlings or Winterfell? Obviously.
Oh
guys.
man, yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's a great question, but I don't know. What do you think? Sorry.
I thought that this was a scene.
We just turned that right around on you.
I don't know, probably, well, definitely up north, whether they're beyond the wall or not, I don't know. Probably wouldn't want Gareth or whatever, they think it was stupid, and they probably just kill anyone who invades your land.
That's a great answer. Yeah, spot on.
All right, thank you.
Exactly right.
Any more insights or?
I think Echo would be like, I'm getting myself a dragon.
Yep.
So my question is actually for Zach, or maybe Rhiannon, because you said you watched Shameless in your panel this morning. So Zach played Jody on Shameless. How do you think Jody would fare if thrown into the world of the hungry?
He would have sex with everyone. Yeah, he would love it. He'd be like, oh, sweet. Like, you know, I think he would enjoy it. Yeah, Jody is like, he's like a pit bull. Like, you know, his mom, like, he's like, that's why he's like a nice dog. Like, he's excited and happy about everything. So.
Will he survive though?
I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, he would just like.
That's why we got
Yeah.
You just keep everybody away from him except one.
Yeah, he would. Yeah. He wants to know.
Maybe the naked grounder.
Yeah. That
Yeah, it would just.
sounds right. 14th clan.
Yeah. What would be the name of that band? Nude crew. Sex crew. Sex crew. The best crew.
Clothes free crew. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Hi. My question is, you know how like in high school you get those senior superlatives, like most likely to get married or most likely to become famous, or most likely to, I don't know, we end up in prison in my high school yearbook, so that was, I didn't get it.
Are you asking what are
Yeah, what would your characters be?
Oh, I don't know my character, but I was
Yeah,
most.
or you.
I was most likely to become a stripper.
Not too far off.
I'm like, what did you do in high school?
Everything.
You on like the dance team? You were like a cheerleader?
I don't know. I guess people just thought I was a stripper.
Most likely to, what are the options?
I don't know, anything.
Succeed, have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, be in Murderers Row, you know.
Prison.
Well, I mean, yeah, I remember like, maybe most likely to rule the world.
Nice. Maybe most likely to
Or be
attempt to rule the world.
Excellent question.
And then we're supposed to give our like character. I don't know. Most likely to get drowned in a fountain.
Thank you. Zach, you took off your sunglasses now.
Oh,
Here we
gangster.
There you go.
This is Tom.
I have those same sunglasses, by the way, but not.
You do?
I
Great.
Absolutely.
So first off, as Gator Forever. So, and my favorite. I think the show tends to kind of antagonize Asgata because they're really against the protagonist. But I think what the show doesn't really do is address the abuse that kind of all three characters went through with Naya. And I think we kind of see a redemption plot with Zach and with your character, Rowan, and Echo soon. And I kind of want to see what Antari's redemption plot would be like. So I guess like the question is like how what would that be, and like I guess how do you kind of talk about the abuse that happened?
Well, I think The 100 does a good job of showing how your past and your upbringing, how it affects you with all the characters. And I think it would have been cool to see, without the chip obviously, to see what would have happened next for her. I would have really, really loved to see some kind of redemption because not everyone's all bad. And I think there had to have been good in her heart somewhere. It would have been nice to see.
Thank you.
Hi, so I actually have two questions, if that's okay. The first one is, were there any stories growing up that you guys really loved, inspired you in what you do now? I mean, the shooter side of that question.
The Little Train That Could. I know that that's true, but like I love that book growing up, and to this day, like when I'm like out running or doing like anything, I'm just like I think I can. Which I think is really important, and I really like that. Like as a kid.
That's really sweet. Everybody poops.
Also,
Stars every day.
I might not tell that one to my students. They're 12 and 13.
As a child, like, I don't know, like, I read a lot of French books because I went to French immersion. So, Le Petit Prince sticks out, because we had to read that, like, every year. I've written so many papers on that book. But I got more kind of inspired, I think, in adulthood with literature. I think I was just like, my mom and I on Sundays, like we used to always, my mom would get like the Sunday, like the weekend paper, and like we used to like sit in bed and like read together. So like we used to read, like digest like a lot of books. which is a great tradition that we started. But I don't know if there was one in particular. I think there was just too many. Except for everything else.
Mine's kind of similar to Zach's, and I remember it very well from being a kid. It's the tortoise and the hare. That story that's like, you just keep going. It doesn't matter at what speed, you're gonna get there then.
Thank you.
My second question is for Zach, and that's if you remember any of your Camp Wanaki cheers when you were a kid.
Oh my God.
Hi, Zach.
Did you go to Robinhood?
No,
Went to
Maria's
school?
not Val's daughter.
Oh, whoa. Hey, I do. I remember probably all of them.
Did you say one for us?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see which ones we should do. Well, there was WINAUKEE. Wanaki. I mean, that was a classic one. But we also had like we had the lunchroom cheers that we would do where we wanted like the color war leaders and all that kind of stuff. So it was like those were all weird ones. Like we had like fried chicken, watermelon, hands in our pants. We won't leave till we get the assistant. Like it was like there was that one. A little birdie in a tree. We did that one a lot. I mean, we did all of them. But by the way, I loved going to that camp. I had so much fun and pretty much I think learned a lot of life lessons there. And also, you know, I don't know, it just was awesome. I loved it. I wish I could just like go live in summer camp for the rest of my life.
Come visit anytime. I'm up in New Hampshire.
No way. Actually, I really
Dad
want.
says hi too, buddy.
Oh, do you tell him I say hi? I want to go up there. I mean, we're actually really close right now. I was actually talking about it in the panel before, how we used to come to, you know, we come to Boston to go to baseball games. And, you know, my dad worked there, her dad worked there. You know, it was awesome. Now I'm like having like this nostalgic moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Say hi, please. Hi. Hi.
All right, so my question is, if there was a musical episode of The Hundred, and you guys are still on it, what would your musical number be like? So would you do like the cover of a song? Would you do your own thing?
Ice, baby.
All right, stop. I want to
and listen. Ice back with a brand new invention.
Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flows like a harpoon, daily and nightly, willing to stop.
Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I glow. To the extreme, I'm on the mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and watch me jump like a candle. Yeah, there's some extra.
Every convention I'm gonna be like, if you know the extra, tell him to send us the video. One guy was like, because we were singing that a lot on set. We're always like, ice.
But it was the day that we had the whole.
But we had like a 300-person army of Ice Nation, and so like we're like, we should take this, and we did. And one guy was like, oh, I'll tape it. And we're like, excellent, send it to us. And he was like, yeah. Like 300 Ice Nation being like, Ice Nation.
Some guy in Vancouver's out there, and he somewhere.
We'll find you.
This thing, and if any of you know him, please tell him to we did this or send it to us because we really want to see that video. It's really awesome. Us basically doing a musical Ice Ice Baby with all of that army behind us, and horses, and like Bob and Ian are tied up on the ground. We should ask.
Yeah. You're singing Brought the Bear to Eliza, is basically what happened. That's the same scene.
Yeah, that's when we brought the bear out.
We summoned the bear.
That's my shit.
Thank you. Thank you. We have time for one more question.
Well, I already asked questions, so if anybody else wants to go, okay, well, one thing is, I really remember you tweeting, asking if Echo had a song, what song would it be?
Yes.
And I replied saying Ice Ice Baby.
Yes.
And you replied, I'm trying to just made my day, I remember that. But my question is for Taz again, and it is, how did Echo, honestly, like, when she, well, not really killed Octavia, but technically killed Octavia and threw her off the cliff, she like looked so depressed. I was wondering if she like, it was something she really didn't want to do and she was upset about. Because I like, even like I remember showing my dad that scene and she was like, were they dating? He was like, were they dating or something?
I lost love. Initially it was actually written as like Echo, she stabs her and then she boots her off the cliff. And I was like, that's really aggressive. And I was like, but you're a slave in some respect to the writing. And then thank God they changed it to that she received the hit and then she stumbles backwards. And I was like, because that would have been like, I'm like, Echo needs to chill out. But what happened was basically, it was an instinctive thing. It was just like she was fighting and Octavia was like, Octavia has her style of fighting, which is very like, it's not as well trained as Echo. It's like very loose and stuff like that. And so but she's still a good fighter through Indra. And so Echo, I think, was surprised. And so Echo finally was like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna bring out my good fighting skills. And then they started fighting, and then there was a moment, and she instinctively, and I know that it was a shock of, she did not mean to do that. Number one, I think because, Rowan said to bring her back alive, and also it was Bellamy's like sister, and all of that. Her job was to bring Octavia back alive. And so she was just like, oh dear, this is not how I intended this to go. Yes.
The scene where you and Ray got to spit blood back and forth on each other. How fun was that?
Laughed so much. And I just remember her eyelashes were dripping with blood. And it was like, it's syrupy, right? Like it's sweet, it's sugar. But I was just looking at her pissing with laughter. I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
And the height difference between you and Marie is substantial. So filming-wise, did they just use angles to make it look like you guys were even playing field?
Thank God we had a crane that day.
Yeah.
The camera was like roaming around like above us. Yeah. But there was definitely like a moment where she walks where Echo and Octavia walk up to each other. And as we get closer and closer and closer, she just gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And she just looks up at me and she's like, this is bullshit.
Well, when I started working with Utahs, I was like, damn, she's tall. And they had her in high heels. And as well, I was like, oh my God. I'm just gonna look like a little boy.
Not that tall.
In one word, can you describe Echo in space in season 5? A spoiler-free one-word description. It would be Echo and Amori, because they're grounders in space. They become BFF and braid each other's hair.
That's all we do.
A lot of time.
Really? Yeah.
We're like, well, how's everything going?
What's that?
Tell me your life story. You have 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. We all know each other's deep, deep life stories, of which Echo does not have one.
You probably in your own head made up your
I made up a story.
Can you enlighten us as to what you think that might be?
She has no family, she has no parents, so she's an orphan. And the way about which she lost her parents was brutal. And then Naya saw her, and any good spy, as we know from spy movies, is someone that has nothing to lose. So Naya saw that and was like, she's gonna make a perfect spy, and she brought her in. And Echo, for the first time, had a family through Naya, which is why she wanted to please Naya so much. So she just decided that she didn't want to be beat up or abused in the streets anymore. So she decided to become the most lethal fighter for Ice Nation.
Interesting. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about the names you're given. Ontari, we assume Ontario, Rowan, Roanoke, Echo. No, I think that's so interesting that Naya and Niagara Falls, there's a through line, and then there's you.
Yeah, one thing that I find interesting that I spoke to with my coach as we were working on Echo was that Echo has a very steady quality to her, and at times I find that a little difficult to play because I'm like, ah! I'm like, disco shoes, let's go run around and play all the time, and then it's Echo's like, And she just looks, she like was very steady, and she's very still, and she's very observant. So when we were talking about space, my coach and I, he's like, Echo almost offers like a reflection of other people to themselves, because she doesn't involve herself in politics. She's not like somebody who might get wrapped up in like gossip or, things are always very black and white for her. It's very clear. She's very steady. And I thought that was a really interesting take on the character as far as her name goes, yeah.
Interesting, I love it. Well, hey, let's thank the Ice Nation for their time. Thank you, Zach and Rhiannon. Thank you very much, you three. Announcement before the Bob and Eliza panel. ConAgeddon would like me to please reiterate, and I'm just the messenger, don't shoot the messenger. ConAgeddon would like to reiterate